Welcome to Safety Talk. Personal safety expert Pete Canavan shares his insights and interviews experts who provide simple and effective tips, techniques, and technologies to keep you safe and secure both online and off. Here's Pete.
Hello and welcome to Safety Talk. I'm your host and personal safety expert, Pete Canavan. I'm joined by my colleague, branding and social media expert, Neil Haley. How are you today, Neil?
I'm doing fantastic, Pete. Excited to be on the show and excited about our guest today.
Yeah, our guest today has created a new product that is very needed today, and one of the reasons why we have him on our show. The product is a wireless safety device and panic button called Silent Beacon, and it can be used by everyone to improve their personal safety. This includes anyone from children and teens to parents and seniors, as well as any professionals or travelers. And by using this device, they can immediately improve their safety. So, of course, it also includes people that spend time alone. This includes things like real estate agents, people who are movers or estimators that are constantly going into new environments where they're not, with other people and they don't know exactly where they're going because it's the first time. So we're going to learn about how this product came to be from the man who invented it. And he is a former Hollywood stuntman and later became a bit of a YouTube sensation performing motorcycle stunts and tricks. And unfortunately, it was his own sort of brush with death that it happened from a motorcycle crash where he was unable to reach his cell phone to call for help, that the idea for this Silent Beacon was born. So we're excited to talk about this new safety device and learn some more about it. And so it's my pleasure to welcome to the show today Kelley, who is the founder and CEO of Silent Beacon. Welcome to Safety Talk, Kenny.
Hi, thank you. Thank you both. I'm glad to be here.
Sure. Thanks for being on the show. We're glad you're here. Anything that can be done to improve personal safety is what we are all about here at Safety Talk. And it sounds like that's what your focus now is too, huh?
Right, correct. So, the idea was to create a platform for people who already have technology. This was kind of created so that people like you or I who already have smartphones, can kind of implement all that technology that exists there to get a signal out immediately if you're in an emergency situation.
So it took a bad accident to spark the idea for the product. Care to share a little bit more detail with the audience? What's the story sort of behind it?
Yeah, so when I was younger and I used to be able to bounce off pavement, I was involved in a motorcycle accident when we were filming one of our stunts. What we would do is we would take what we would call a chase truck and we would go out and we would kind of film our ideas for stunts. So when we went back to producers in Hollywood or when we were in our own productions, we would actually kind of be able to showcase like, oh, we've got this idea, that involves trickery or this and that. And unfortunately, one of them I wiped out on, and there was nobody around when I was practicing this. So I was literally just sitting on the side of the road. I couldn't get my gloves off. And I'm like, man, I have all this technology right there in my pocket.
Yeah.
Get to it. And even if I was able to get to it, how long would it take me to swipe through, call 911? I don't even know where I am. Then call my parents, tell them, relax.
Exactly.
Call my girlfriend and tell her, I don't know where I am, just I'll be there. Call my friends who were supposed to meet me at the spot we were going to go film and be like, I don't know, I didn't make it, I'm somewhere. So I just really thought at that point in time, man, there has to be a way to grab everything that our smartphone can do and just with one touch, ping down.
Now, thinking about what you're talking about with the accident, how did you feel, even as a stuntman, being this vulnerable after that injury, after that happened to you, that you wish you had that technology? Because think about, just your whole overall feeling of your safety is kind of disappearing because you don't have anyone you can contact at that point in time.
Right. What's interesting is any other accident I'd been in prior, whether it was just a car accident that wasn't even my fault, then I wasn't even driving, or situations when I was younger, it all kind of floods back at that point of emergency. You kind of feel overwhelmed and you're kind of brought back to all the other emotions and times you felt the same way. So that's kind of what happened. I got this flooding sensation of, I've been here before. I've been in an unsafe situation where I need assistance. So it just kind of escalated. And then, I think at that moment, I didn't really think of the idea, but later I just started thinking about it again and again. It's like, what could I have done better? What could be different? And as a serial entrepreneur and inventor, I obviously wanted to create something that went along with that, not just the idea.
So what is it exactly? How does it work?
So it's just a Bluetooth device. It's kind of similar to headsets that you might wear, or you see people, walking down the street. It looks like they're talking to themselves. They have this little Bluetooth speaker in their ear. So it uses the same Bluetooth technology, but it's got 2 indented buttons on either side. Imagine if you're like biting into an apple on each side. So that way you're not going to get false hits. You're not going to be able to accidentally press the button. So it's got 2 indented buttons on both sides. That makes it a little bit more strenuous to actually hit. So you press those when you're in an emergency. It sends the signal to your smartphone. The smartphone connects to our app. The app sends out all the information. It's going to send your GPS location. It's going to send an email. It can send push notifications. It can even alert your contacts if your battery becomes too low. So the application does most of the heavy lifting. And again, it's using the technology we already have. And that's how we're able to get around charging monthly fees. You might see other devices on the market, but they're going to come with a monthly fee. I just piggyback off the technology we already pay, a ransom for each month with our smartphones.
Exactly.
And just utilize that. So you just buy this one time, and then you just use your cell phone, data plan.
So you have to hit both buttons at once to activate it?
Yes, you would hit both buttons on the side, press them simultaneously. It vibrates to let you know it's the connection's been made. It also has LEDs that will shine red, and then that vibrates, shines red, and then it's actually going to place a phone call. So on my phone right now, it's actually calling my emergency contact.
Oh, wow.
Letting them know I'm in emergency. And there's also silent mode. So if I just hold this button down on the side for 1 second like that, now the LEDs have stopped flashing, the audio has stopped playing, but the call is still going through. My signal is still going through. This helps for domestic violence situations, or just imagine someone coming in with a gun and telling you, don't call 911. Sure, I won't call 911, but I did, and now you don't. So we kind of have these little tricks we try to do to figure out every situation that our users might run into, and then try to solve it with our app and our device.
So who do you think is the primary people that would benefit from this device in your belief?
It's funny. So when I first started this project, even though it was myself that got into an accident, I'm a guy. I think I'm too macho. A lot of my friends, a lot of people you meet. In fact, when I first went to pitch this to get investors, all the men were like, I don't need that. I have a smartphone. And, the reality is I could take that smartphone out of your hand in 1 second. And if someone's trying to do you harm, they could probably get to it a lot quicker, or would, make sure you don't get to it. So when I started this out, it was mainly focused towards women, protecting them. My mother, my girlfriend, people that I've known have been in risky situations before, or accidents, and they hesitate. They don't know what to do. We can teach so we're blue in the face what to do. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. But till you're in that situation, sometimes people just freeze. It's a natural reaction to freeze.
Sure.
A beacon, you don't have to think. You just press the buttons and it does all the work for you. So originally it was for women. And then over the years, while we were developing and redeveloping and adding new features to it, it really became something for everyone. We have laboratories that call us, school systems call us, and it's not just for the students. They want to use this for the security guards there. So the security guards can actually check in, because they're the ones going to the potential problems. And then, some of them don't have guns. They're not police officers.
Yeah.
It really helps multiple levels of people get help in an emergency situation. And as the company grows, it's just growing organically.
Wow.
Cool. Now, I was reading that I guess you can customize the beacon to do different things. Like you could text, you could email, different. What sort of customizations can be done to the product?
Yeah. So one thing we're always trying to work on at Silent Beacon is to give people, all the possibilities to become safer in a situation that they feel is an emergency. Whatever that situation is. So calling someone can be toggled on and off. And that's something that competitors don't do. They make you call their call center. There's not a product out there that allows you just to randomly call 911. We allow you to store whatever phone number you want to store. Your parents, your loved ones, your neighbor, emergency personnel, 911. If you're out of the country, another similar product like 911, another line like that. It really lets you do whatever you want to do. The custom messages. So if you send an email it's going to say, help, I'm in emergency. But you can customize that. So if you're going into a situation or you're doing a certain thing, let's say you're a bike courier and you're going down the same road every day. So you would preset that message to, hey, I've probably been in a bicycle accident. Please check my location. Call me to make sure I'm okay.
That's great.
Customize it to whatever you want. Same with text messages. And again, like I was mentioning earlier, you can set a toggle. So if your battery goes below 10%, like my mom's usually does, it will actually send their contacts a text that just says, hey, your mom's cell phone or your mom's device battery is a little low. You might want to give her a call. So I just call and say, hey, mom, plug it in.
The workflows are very important. What it seems like your technology has really good workflows to utilize different devices. Then it sounds like not just the cell phone, but other things from programming.
Yeah, well, we tried to do that. There's a fine line, not to get into too many details, but there's a fine line between letting the user have everything they want and then confusing the heck out of the user, right? So we try to play with different things. And that's the great thing about the app stores. There's no longer a year process where you make something like a video game and then, once it comes out, or software, once it comes out, you have to wait till user feedback. We can update over the fly daily. In fact, the software on the device, which is the firmware, you can actually update over the air through our application. So let's say there's a security packet or some new feature we want to launch on the device itself. You don't have to buy a new product. You don't have to plug it into your computer. You don't have to do anything. You open the application, you go to the settings, you say firmware update, you say yes, please, you click it, and it flashes this device to be able to be updated to the new software.
So it has a rechargeable battery, right? By USB it recharges, I assume?
Yes, it comes with the cord. It's got a rechargeable USB battery that's rechargeable from the bottom, and you can plug it into obviously any outlet. And it reads the battery inside the application. So inside the application, you can actually read what your battery life is.
How long will it last for?
The battery lasts for a week. Now, a lot of people say, well, Kenny, this competitor lasts a year. They do and they don't. What they do is they put those products on standby, which means your product is never really connected to your device at all times. Your product is on standby. So if your smartphone is within range, it will send a signal and ping it and say, if the app is open, then please send out the signal. Ours says, are you open? 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 It bugs you. It's a 3-year-old tugging on your leg for more money for cotton candy at the fair. Continues to say, are you open? Are you open? Are you working? Are you working? And if it's not working, the beacon flashes red and tells you, hey, I'm disconnected, and it vibrates. So it lets you know that there's been a disconnection problem because it keeps the connection 24 hours a day pinging back and forth. Because
so either you got too far away or you turned the Bluetooth off on your phone or something like that.
Exactly. So the other competitors don't really take that into consideration. They just say, well, you were out of range. It says in our user guide that you have to stay within range, or, you do this. I want to notify people because it does you no good if you think you're going to be safe and you press this button and you're not. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't help my company, and it doesn't help the people who are using it.
Right.
That's great. And so how long has since the product's been launched? How long have you had it out for? Yeah.
So we did a soft launch in November 2018, and we're actually launching it live nationally in the United States right now. So Nebraska Furniture Mart, which is out in the Midwest, has it. Best Buy is going to carry it. Home Depot right now is planning on carrying it. So we've got a lot of big things that are in the works, but it's just happening like right now as we're speaking.
Oh, excellent.
We just got a great sales team. Actually, some of my guys are in the background now, and we're really, ear to the ground on new innovation and feet, shoes laced up, ready to roll on this to get it distributed.
No, good luck with it. That's exciting, especially got some big names behind it. So hopefully that translates to big numbers, right?
Yeah, hopefully. So right now we also sell it on the website. So we carry it at silentbeacon.com, obviously, the website. So we carry it on there. I think
What's the retail?
It fluctuates depending on the sale, but right now it's $99.99. Its MSRP is $109.99, but we try to get it under $100, and hopefully once the big distributors get it in their stores, we'll have a good solid price point between $89 and $99.99. But as of right now, it's $99 on our website.
Are they trying to beat you up? Probably, right? We want to sell it cheaper.
We'll dance.
Yeah.
They want.
So usually what the big boys will do, right? They say they
No.
want to move them, but hey, no, that's good.
Hey,
And
at the end
quantity
of,
discounts, like if somebody wanted to buy a whole bunch for their company or their school or whatever, you would
oh
obviously get some
yes,
sort of discount for quantity purchase.
yes, we have wholesale discount, we have retail discounts, we have a business version too. So let's say you're a school district or you have multiple employees. Instead of everyone wanting a silent beacon, maybe they or their loved ones just need to be alerted. So we have a whole kind of database that allows you to plug in all the phone numbers for all the people at that office. So if there is an emergency or someone at the office hits this emergency, it lets everyone know, and then you can kind of dictate the plans. Okay, this is step one now that we're in an emergency, or this is where you should head to the nearest exit, or this is who you should call, or this is the website link you should go to. So we want to just, let everyone, have a reason to use our product in our product line. And going back to Best Buy, yeah, they can beat us up on the price, but at the end of the day, we just want to be in stores because the biggest success for me, and this is not about financial gain, I've made and lost money a million times over. It's not a big thing for me. The check mark at the end of my day is that someone was saved.
Right. That's great. And that's the big model of the show that Pete and I created, to provide the opportunity for our listeners and viewers to be safer.
Right.
Use specific technology or use specific strategies and techniques. Now, are you partnering? Are you working with commercial ventures? You brought up school districts. Are you working with any security companies that just work with commercial? It seems like you already have the B2C. But what about the B2B? Are you partnering with any security companies that have other technology? We were just at ISC West, Pete and I represented Lensec, and basically we're a video management software manufacturer, but we look at ways to, kind of integrate technology together based on systems, especially when you talk about a video management software. Are you working on doing some of that stuff too?
Yeah, we have been actually talking to a lot of people. Like I was saying at the beginning, it's kind of just evolving on its own. We're not really doing anything to get these great companies to contact us, but we've had a couple contact us, and it's actually even more than that. They wanted to use our firmware, integrate our actual product, use our software. So there's just multiple levels of it that everyone's trying to get connected, and we are pursuing that. We actually have someone, Tyler at our company, who actually works on that to kind of build those relationships and see, not actually where it makes sense financially, but what will help more in society. So we are doing that actively right now.
One of the interesting things that we saw at the show last week was that a lot of companies are willing to work together, because at the end of the day, we're all after the same thing, which is to make people more, safer, and to make,
Right.
Assets more secure. So, safety and security is sort of the end game for everybody out there. And it's like, we just have different ways of getting there. We have different solutions to provide. And so if there are ways that you can create some sort of synergy with another product or another service on the market to make what you have stronger, it's interesting because this industry is very open to that, and you're seeing that as well. And we saw it every day down there, and it was really neat to see, because a lot of other industries, they're just not like that. They're very competitive. It's like, no, this is my product, these are my people, this is my customer. You can't have them. I don't want to give you access to it. But it's very, very different in this industry that I've found over the last few years, and even just seeing it on a daily basis, really on a minute by minute basis, and talking with a lot of the different companies down there. I mean, there are almost 1,000 companies at the show. I didn't talk to 1,000 companies, but I talked to dozens and dozens of them. And many of them had all of that, that same sort of mindset, like, hey, our product, we developed it to keep people safer. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So that's awesome. I applaud you for that, because, there are a lot of people like you. And me and Neil and the companies that we represent, and the companies that were at ISC West. So
Right.
It's something that's really cool. Now, you talked about the mute mode, and obviously that could be helpful, like in a domestic violence situation, something like that. Now, what could you say to people to say, like you mentioned earlier, you talk to some guys like, oh, I don't need this product, but we know that, by the time you try to take out a cell phone, unlock the phone, open the apps, even if it's just to call 911, it's a series of steps to get there. And so what, are there any current statistics maybe you could, let the viewers and the listeners know about that would make them think that, maybe I really should take a look, and maybe I do really need this product?
Well, that's interesting. We actually did a study internally to figure out how long it would actually take someone on average to call 911 on their phone, and it was 26 seconds. And that's because you have to go in your phone, you have to, open it by either your face, your thumbprint, swipe it, whatever, enter your password, whatever you need to do, get to the stage on your phone that allows you to call 911. Now, on a lot of these new phones, they actually allow you to press a side button 3 times to call 911, but that isn't effective either, because then it has a countdown. Oh, it's going to call 911 in 10, 9, 8. So all someone who's trying to harm you has to do is just click, no thank
Cancel.
you. Your phone, So it's really for a lot of people, and a lot of people probably don't know the statistics. When I started this company, a violent crime happened in the United States every 28 seconds. Now it's down to 24 seconds.
Yeah, it's scary.
Happen more frequently. So it's not possibly that it's getting worse. It's possibly that there's just more human beings on this earth, and some don't have good intentions. But the problem is not getting better as far as statistics, but I think how we approach the problem, how we come up with solutions, how to deal with those problems we find ourselves in are getting better. And companies like ours are going in and being able to find that kind of niche that's going to help certain people in certain situations. So as long as we keep evolving these concepts and keeping the conversation going, which is kind of cliche, I think more and more people will understand that it's not really, bad statistically. It seems worse, but we're just getting better at handling these situations. So,
So the size of the product is, if you could hold it up there for a second. So
Yes.
it's kind of like maybe the size of, a key fob, a little bit bigger than a key fob sort of thing.
Correct.
So where would people keep it, wear it? Would they, people are going to say, it's a little clunky. I still got this big, remote for my car.
Right.
Can they clip it on their person? Is there like a lanyard, something like, how else would they, potentially carry it? Because people, I don't want to carry one more thing with me.
Yeah, so it actually comes with a clip. So the clip just hooks on right to the back, and you can put it on an article of clothing. You can put it on your backpack. You can put it on the center dash of your car. So it kind of gives you the realm of possibility to not just clip it to your keys. It does have a reinforced keychain at the top here that allows you to put it on your keys. That's where I put it. It's just the best place for me to put it. I know my mom keeps it clipped on her waistband when she goes out. I know my girlfriend just throws hers in her purse. So it does have an area for a laminate, which is the same as the keychain ring. But we find that most of the people just put the clip on and just put it in their pocket.
Okay.
Again, you don't really have to worry about the false alarms, whereas the other ones kind of have a big button in the middle and you can't put it in your pocket. So ours you can kind of throw around.
See, that's a nice feature. I like that you can't do a false alarm, and you kind of have to, hit them both at the same time. And then, it lets you know through that tactile feedback that, it vibrates. You see the, the visual that it's been activated, and it
Right.
can't just by bumping into it or, leaning against something, it's not going to be able to activate it.
You got to find a place so you don't lose it. That's a great point. Where can we find more information on your product and more about you? Where's the best places we can go?
Sure. So the website silentbeacon.com has the most updated information. We put articles on there all the time. We have a team that writes and researches articles as well as putting safety tips up there. And then, if you just Google Silent Beacon, a lot of good stuff comes up. Now, just to touch real quick on what you were saying about the 2 buttons, I have kind of a reassurance mode I put on kind of for my own paranoia. So if you just tap one button or the other button, it's going to alert your phone that it's still connected, and it's going to show blue on the actual device. So just to touch base on that real quick, if you just hit one of the buttons, it's going to let you know if it's still connected or not. So you're always going to know if you're going to go into a situation. You don't have to go into your phone and make sure it's connected. You can actually just tell right on the device itself.
No, it's a nice new good
Well,
feature.
we're definitely going to have to connect and see how we can hook up different technologies and develop all these different relationships, right, Pete? And that's the important thing of what we do here at Safety Talk, right, Pete?
Absolutely. Kenny, have any sort of last thoughts for our listeners and viewers?
No, I'm excited that this information's getting out there, and I've been watching your podcast actually all morning. So I'm excited, and hopefully we can meet up again in the future.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks for coming on today and to spend some time with us. Thanks to our listeners for tuning in, and you can always find out more about the podcast episodes and links and subscription links at safetytalkpodcast.com.
And then neilhaley.com as well. And then also check out VIPinternetradio.com, where Now Safety Talk is carried in a bunch of news shows. Check that out. And Neil Haley shows, celebrity interviews are exclusively here. And just real quick about celebrities. What movies have you been on as a stuntman?
So our company did movies. I mean, now they're just so old, right? So Biker Boys, Torque, Redline, Fear Speed, In the Wrong Hands. It started off on the low budget movies, and kind of our company went up and up and up and up and up, and then we kind of hit the big time and realized that eating lobster and shrimp for 2 months out of the year is fun, but eating those ramen noodles the other 10 months just isn't going to pay the bills.
Yeah, so a lot of motorcycle stuff. That's it,
yes.
Right? Very good.
Awesome. Well, and I appreciate you coming on, and really a fun conversation, right, Pete?
Absolutely. So thanks again, and until next time, stay safe.